what do you all see as some of the greatest obstacles which continue to impede the understanding of the acceptance of Asian religions in this country, and what can we do about it?
The first fruit of ignorance is fear. And a lot of what we have seen in the last decade, I think, in the US has been driven by fear. And to me, the best remedy for that is education. There's a great deal of nervousness about education about religion. And the materials that are used for education about world religions is sadly out of date, especially when it comes to the Eastern religions. Sadly out of date, it's misrepresentation of the worst kind in some cases. So there's a great deal of work to be done to reform those materials, to introduce more real teaching about religion, about world religions in the schools, and to make that a part of the community dialogue.
I feel that we must also look at the positive things which have happened in America, where the Sikhs have fought to get rights to wear turban at every workplace. Of course there are prejudices, but if you go to my part of the world, there are worse prejudices there. And people have lived in those prejudices. We are coming here and talking about everything positive about Eastern culture. I'm sorry, that's not true. There are prejudices, there are violences, there are people fight with each other because of their race, religion, caste, and skin color. But I think American experience is the best experience as a Sikh for me to exercise and express myself spiritually or socially.
So to me, that there is ignorance and is fear is kind of your natural state. We're not infinitely wise. And so what's exciting to me about this documentary, about this kind of panel discussion and bringing this to the surface more and more, is the only slayer of this ignorance is to open ourselves up to include more experiences that are willing to embrace, willing to practice tolerance, rather than thinking, and here's the selflessness again, that you have all the answers so you don't have to listen. Because that fear, I think, comes from kind of a psychological insecurity. Not to analyze it, but at the end of the day, it also makes total sense. Of course we're afraid. We're afraid of what we don't know. So the answer would be, well, let's use our tools to open up and to create more and more dialogue. It sounds, like motherhood and apple pie, but I don't see another solution.
We have really not begun to address the impact of globalization on religion. And there's effort that has begun to do that. But I know as a Christian, we still see ourselves as if we're living in a little town in New Hampshire, in Thornton Wilder's play. And we see ourselves separated from the big city. Well, we are as close to one another as we sit at this table tonight. And we are as close to one another as 3 seconds on a computer. And that is making a huge difference in terms of religious speak and the way we either do or do not embrace the impact of globalization on religion.
This religious pluralism really embodies the true vision of America. And I'm quoting Thomas Jefferson and the statue just outside his university, the university he created, with an angel holding a tablet, and marked 1786. And it has the names of the various gods of the various religions. So it says God, Jehovah, Allah. And remember this 1786, and the headline is Religious Freedom. And then it says Brahma, Atma. So here's Jefferson already thinking not only of the Abrahamic faiths, which is bold enough, but he's thinking beyond the Abrahamic faiths. He's actually reaching out to Hinduism and Buddhism and Sikhism and so on. And therefore, I think that is the foundation of the vision that became the United States of America, a new world which is genuinely pluralist. Because this, Sally, is an attempt made by various societies. South Asia, for example, is also very rich in religious plurality, and there have been times, I mean, take Mahatma Gandhi, for example. You know that he began the day with the readings from all the religious texts, the Bible, the Quran, and so on. So you already have that tradition. This is also an American tradition. And like we need to rediscover the Asian traditions, I think Americans need to rediscover the American tradition, going back to the founding fathers.
I have to say that what you all are talking about is exactly the reason why I started on Faith 5 years ago on the Washington Post religion website, which is now one of the most popular features on the site, because I just felt that there was so much ignorance about religion in this country that so many people don't even understand their own religions, much less the religions of others. And I'm talking about believers and non-believers as well. It's just been so gratifying to me to see how people have come to the site to learn. And I think, I hope that we've made a difference. But I think also that our panelists tonight are 5 people who have really made a tremendous difference. And aren't they fabulous? Wasn't this a great conversation? I also want to thank the filmmakers, Gerald Krell, Meyer Odds, and Adam Krell for producing this fabulous film, The Asian and Abrahamic Religions, A Divine Encounter in America. And I think that these kinds of films, and I know this is going to be on the air, but this is the kind of thing we need to start creating these dialogues. I mean, they've been going on, but I just think that you can't stop. Because the more that you talk about religion, the more, I mean, I think that I've learned so much, and I've been doing this for 5 years. I've learned so much from this panel. Each one of you has said something in a different way from the way that I have ever heard it. And I come away with a whole new understanding of different faiths from all of you. And I just can't imagine if we had, if we could put them in every mega church in America and just have this panel. I think it would be such an eye-opener for people. They would be stunned.